Is that a sample?
Yeah, it's a voice.
It's a voice? That's why. Okay.
It's a voice saying, ooh, yeah.
It's just the ooh, yeah. Oh, wow.
Get into the real meat and potatoes things.
Wow.
Yeah,
I know that ooh, yeah. I feel like it's in everybody's.
It's the voice that says, ooh, yeah.
Welcome to the Almost Never podcast, the preferred podcast out of 8 out of 10 coastal elites.
Sheesh.
I'm your co-host, Josh, at Dearest Rat on Instagram.
My name's Trey Doja. Doja does it.
I'm Sean, and I'm also really stoked that we're the most popular 8 out of 10 for coastal elites.
You wouldn't believe it, but you know, I talked to all the coastal elites, and it was very surprising.
Damn.
That's. Oh yeah, I was like, wait, that's not your Instagram handle.
No, it's not. But Doja does it.
He does.
Doja does do it.
It's one of my handles.
What's going on with everybody? How's this week been for you guys? It's been a little, we've been a little bit off the socials a little bit. We've been recovering ever since Costa Rica. I know we can't stop talking about it, but I've been hurting a little bit. You know, feeling the burn and everything. But
I want to apologize in advance to all our fans out there for my
so many fans.
lagging
Coastal elites
of audio. The audio experience has been lagging because of me on your favorite DSP, but we had a pre-production meeting today, actually, and it was good, and we're back.
We're back.
Swell.
We're ready.
We're good.
Yeah.
At least swinging. We weren't swinging.
Are we swingers now? Technically.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we are.
I got to talk to Marlene about that then.
She doesn't know? Oof. Now you know,
Marlene.
Marlene.
I have the uncomfortable conversation.
There you go.
Well, we're swinging at different things, so which doesn't sound any better.
No, that sounds a little more complex.
Yeah. Yeah, but we keep it complex. We're like a really good wine. We're very complex.
Well, what's just like good wine's got legs. How's this week been running for you guys?
Ooh, I like that. Mine's been coming down the glass very nicely, cascading ever so lovely with the thick viscosity.
Your week has been full of thick viscosity?
Yeah, it's just been...
Is that a personal thing? You should get that looked at by a doctor.
No. It's been a good week, realistically. Let me think about what I've been doing. Just been selling stuff at the job we don't know what's going on at. I got a bike. I got a BMX bike. Bicicleta. So I am feeling young and spry again. Hopefully I don't break anything.
You will not be feeling so young and spry after you...
I never broke anything, so...
Don't start now.
I know, right? But I'm definitely going to attempt some stuff.
Can I ask you a question about your week?
Oh, yeah.
How many dead bodies did you have on your hands this week?
Jesus, 95. Well, it was more like 107, but I only tagged 95.
Y'all want to see a dead body?
What's the for do you want to give like some
Can you offer some clarity on that statement?
So for some clarity, I work, my boss is it's like a family owned constructor engineering company, and his dad, when they started the company, was a big game hunter. So at my job, they have trailers full of taxidermied animals, rugs, skins, all kinds of stuff. And I've been tasked with finding homes for a lot of them, or trying to figure out what we're doing and going through them. So I've been moving things from
handling a lot of carcasses.
Cheetahs, musk oxes, all different kind of deer species from the Americas, Africa, Australia. He was just a killer.
What's the biggest one that
The musk ox, which is like the size of a car, and it's the full musk ox taxidermied.
Coincidentally, that was my nickname in high school.
Yeah. Musk ox?
Just musk.
And a lot of illegal stuff, which is awesome. Like, I'm definitely going to get some elephant skin.
Allegedly illegal. No, it's... at the time, it was not...
easier to get in America.
You're allegedly going to have the skins.
No, I'm going to have them.
Okay,
I think it's okay if there's not new skin, though.
Is it like the drug thing where...
It's like how, buying anything with tortoise is illegal. But if you have it, you can have it. You can own it.
It doesn't get repossessed?
No, you can own it. You can't buy tortoise, but you can own stuff made out of tortoise shell.
What do people make out of tortoise
Guitars.
Oh,
Guitar picks.
They were using the full the sea turtles,
the shell.
and the shell was the back
body?
part, and then the front, and they were making guitars. They
Fender
call them-
does Fender have a tortoise model?
No, but it's a very you got to look at them, and they're very expensive and ornate, and they're very illegal. Yeah, they're really cool.
Sea turtle guitar.
Yeah, they're very just turtle shell guitar. Heroes in a half shell, but no, yeah. So that's all I've
Turtle power.
that's all I've been doing is
So you become a merchant of death, is that right?
they like to call me
I mean,
the
they're
assassin
kind
of
of ugly.
They are, but it was just a thing because I think like indigenous people made
That makes sense.
You know what I mean?
And that was a body. It's a
The
hollow
top
shell.
left one looks cool though.
Yeah,
Like,
so
it looks
it's
like
just-
a.
But it's
It's
just
just-
flattened in the.
Yeah.
exactly, but it's the shell part of the back.
We'll show you.
Yeah, but no, it's illegal. You can't
Save
buy
us.
that kind of
Yeah, we
stuff
save it
because
right now.
they're like endangered or something.
Or something.
Or something.
Yeah.
So Sean, how have you been handling dead animals or anything this past week?
No dead animals. I think with the time change that happens every year, it's not a surprise. But like, I believe in that whole like.
Voodoo shit.
No, dude, I believe in like the that when it happens, like from everyone that I know, like loses some energy and umph in like life, like getting
bit of
stuff
seasonal
done.
depression.
Yeah, it's like
Because they know they got to pay some Christmas gifts off.
Was it something like seasonal affective
seasonal depression.
disorder?
Yeah, seasonal depression's real. I mean, and like what's crazy is, I mean, we live in a place where it's sunny, so at least we're getting that D. Where like
Always getting that D.
always, but yeah. My week, I'm coming off of like a week and a half or 2 weeks of like what I would call like a depressing period, like a depressive. Like if I had a period, or
How would you explain that to people?
I thought you were going to say emotional bender.
how do I explain it? Like
that don't really
emotional
understand.
bender. Is that what you said?
That's what I thought you were going to say.
I guess you could say emotional bender. I think, okay, so I in my personal, I can only speak about it from my experience.
Teach these devils.
That I think when, like, my depression is in waves. So it's not consistent. It's much like, a monthly kind of thing. It's not like every month, like, I can't be like, okay, in 4 weeks, I'm going to be depressed. But it usually hits like that, and it usually lasts for about a week and a half. And the best way I can say in terms of how it feels is like I'm just like separate from like everything. Like I don't feel, it's not that like somebody could be like, oh my God, I love you and I care about you. And it's like, I get it. Like I get that. And like my logical brain is like, oh yeah, like I know that I'm depressed right now. I know this stuff, but like the actual experience is like, you kind of feel like, you don't belong in where the space is that you are.
Isolated.
Yeah. It's like isolated, and like I think it also like it plays into like habits that are isolating habits, which is like watch a lot of TV, don't go out and like engage with people. Not really nutritious meals, not things that are like you're cooking and like you're engaging in things. Like for me, it's like a very non-engaging feeling. So like not engaging in conversation, not engaging with friends, not engaging with family. Like I had my family reunion last weekend, which was awesome.
Was that a lot though?
It was so much. I was exhausted.
I can't do those things
And I was
necessarily on
just
the
like-
best of terms, like on the best of personality, moods, and everything.
Yeah,
It's still a lot.
It was like, because already Thanksgiving was a lot. Thanksgiving was a lot because you ever try to play like a game, like a card game or a board game or something with a family, and like people like get angry or take it too seriously, and then like it turns into like
How too seriously?
like
Is it in what kind of game? What game are we playing?
this game, I forget the name of it. Casey will comment Casey on what it is. But I had jokingly told somebody that they were cheating.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then
Was it a joke though, or were they maybe cheating?
No, it was clearly like a joke. And then they got really crazy, and then they even tried to kick, like fake kick but real kick Laura, like literally like threw foot at Laura while she was walking by. And it was like, so I was exhausted by the end of that for Thanksgiving. Then 2 days later we had a family reunion, and for the thing is with like depression too, like for me, people want to have conversations. Like it's not, my face isn't wearing it necessily. So when somebody,
it's definitely a mask.
yeah, so when people come up, they're like, oh, how are you? And like 4 conversations deep, I'm like, I'm gonna go upstairs. I'm just gonna go to a room, and I just need to like recalibrate.
What's your best bit of advice for us non-sufferers? How we interact with people that do, like, because I want to be present, and
I think it's important to know that, like, I know what you mean when you say non-sufferer, but I
should reframe that.
No, that's good. That's actually a great way of saying it. I understand what you mean by non-sufferer because I have people like that's actually usually like the conversation that comes up, where it's like everyone experiences depression and people have different coping mechanisms, and I would say that like my coping mechanisms, because I come from since I was like 4 or 5, I was like chronic worrier. Like my parents talk about it. Like I was anxious. So like for me, my coping mechanisms are kind of like not as strong. They're like very, very much like
internalized, closed circuit.
Mm-hmm. And so it takes a lot to be like, okay, I'm going to get out of it. So I think from the outside, like the understanding that like if somebody's feeling depressed, it doesn't mean like it's like and this is again only for me, but it's not like a forever, like I don't experience depression as like every single day I am. And every single day it's like that 80% depression kind of thing. It's wavering and like any emotion. So I think it helps when somebody feels like they can come up and kind of engage you in it. Like I appreciate, I was telling you, like on the weeks that you'll know that I'm not, because I like, won't call you back. It'll be like you'll call me twice, and like usually I'll call you back, but I don't. It's usually just something like, hey, like I know this right now that you're, and this is all I'm saying is for me. Other people might not feel the same way, but I like when somebody says, hey, I know this right now that like you're feeling like that you're pulling back, or I know this, I haven't talked to you, or like, hey, I'm just checking in. I'm just saying what's up. Also, not focusing on it like kind of like parentally, like where I think parents are like, oh my God, I'm so concerned. Are you okay? Because that also makes it feel like
somewhere in between the two.
Yeah. Where it's like, for me, like it's a passing thing. So if somebody treats it like a passing thing, it makes me feel better rather than being like, oh, he's depressed, I don't want to.
Yeah, it's like a kidney stone. It's not always going to be there.
Yeah. But I think the other part is like, at the same time, I want people to be like, oh, like I know this about him, so I can have a conversation. Like, it's frustrating when I see like a lot of conversations about mental health and depression, but people just talk about it like, oh, like just know that like we care. But I'm like, well, tell me about like your experience. Like, what do you feel like when you're down? Like, does the
because it cannot be the same for everybody?
Yeah, and does the blanket statement "we care" actually make you feel better like when you're in that
I think
space?
It's like pray for Palestine.
It is a very pray for like or thoughts and prayers kind of thing, which is not to say it's bad, because like that's not bad or good in any way, but it's a little bit removed. Like, like sometimes people will like message me like, oh, hey, like oh, I just wanted to like see how you're doing. And it's like you don't have like, it's not just like some like tiptoe around it kind of scenario, because then it feels like, oh, you don't like, you're only checking in because it, like it's robotic. It doesn't feel like honest kind of feeling.
Genuine.
Yeah. So, and like everybody's different. I know that like mine, I know that like I was a sad kid for a long time. And so like when I talk about depression, I have the gift, I guess I would say, it's like it doesn't feel like mine. I've never felt like, oh my God, this is my sadness. It's just from somewhere, and I have no idea where it's from. I can't explain it. Like when it pops up, it's just like this thing. So I think like, I find it lucky that I'm not internalizing it too much. Like I'm not a depressed person. But like some people, like, if they do feel like, oh, I'm a depressed person, I find that like it,
self-fulfilling prophecy.
That, and also like if I was like, oh, I'm a depressed person, like try not to then treat me like a depressed person, because that also just reaffirms it. It's like, a lot of those things, it's like it's kind of hard to understand, but like you kind of like you can't treat the person like the thing, because then you're also in a weird way reaffirming it.
Enforcing like some sort of trope or stereotype.
Yeah. So
like if I had no legs, I wouldn't want you to just
constantly say, hey dude,
how's it feeling
with
to have
no legs?
But then at the same time,
you're so brave.
When I don't have no legs.
I have no legs. Is that Kids? The movie Kids?
My biggest takeaway is check on your friends, people.
Yeah. I mean, and like
love hard, laugh hard, live hard.
Live hard.
I think check on your friends, not like
fuck
Is somebody getting beat?
I hope not, because
That was
It is like I've heard it's like a family with like a kid up there, so I don't know what's going on.
Can
Can you imagine 3 people living in the space like this?
this. Well, it depends.
I can because
It depends on how old the kid is.
Yeah.
He's like 20 something. Yeah, if they're a kid, like a kid, no.
Yeah, if they're like a toddler, it's totally cool. Put the bassinet in the kitchen.
Put the baby in the corner.
Jeez.
Just,
No.
going on to what you were saying is
Yikes.
like, I think I think I've coined this term. I don't think everybody uses it. But you know how like the influx of hormones and stuff for women, like or as they say, vagina owners, like, you know, with like menstruation, the cycle, like the influx of hormones can be like cause like varying moods and stuff. I think I get something similar. I call it menstruation, and this is not to like poke fun or anything, but like I think like probably a week every month, like I get a little bit more down, and it's not a super obvious thing because I'm used to having a lot of internalizing a lot of feelings, so I don't show it or anything. But I think about a week throughout the month, I get a little down, a little quiet, a little more like a little mopey, I'd say.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's with everybody, but I certainly get it, and it's very consistent.
Should definitely trademark that.
Menstruation. Mm-hmm. It's good enough for a T-shirt. I do think that. Thanks for sharing that, and I do think people go through that. I think regularly. I just think that there's kind of a consciousness sometimes that happens, and it's like not. It doesn't mean that like everybody's like mopey, but there is a flow or fluctuation of emotions on a regular basis throughout the month, and like sometimes people are like more engaging, they're more driven, they're more irritable, you know, like I know like that those are real things, and like if you're aware of it,
IBS.
Yeah,
Irritable bowel syndrome.
bowel syndrome. Yeah, I guess so. That probably flares up in the similar space, but yeah, I do think that that's real. Like in like hormones are always constantly fluctuating. Like if you think about, like I know I'm on meds, so my hormones are weird as they are. But like if you think about yourself, like your sleep, your food, your interactions with people,
Salt meds,
your sunlight, and your exercise, like those just simple things. If 1 month every single one of those was hitting high, just filled out, that month is more likely going to be a higher level or better feeling month, possibly. Like your percentage wise will be, because you have different hormones releasing than another one.
like in the summertime when you get more D.
Exactly, and you're able to be out more, you know, so that longer you're out, the more D you're getting.
Always more D, but then also like the most likely you're getting more socialization
Exactly.
with people.
Mm-hmm.
You're out and about. You're not cooped up
That
in
is
your
true.
house.
You also
I've always liked when the sun was out longer, because it's just like you feel like, I mean, for me, everyone's different, but you feel like you get more out of the day.
Well, yeah, because you have literal
Totally.
more day, you have more sunlight.
Well, you don't
so-
have more daylight. We just push
Day-
time
daylight,
back.
yeah.
you get
well,
more daylight.
yeah.
Because the
you're
sun
right, an hour.
actually.
We
The
do
sun's
get an
going down
hour.
at like 5.
We do get
5
an hour of more
o'clock now,
daylight,
you know?
but we do push time back too. So it's just like, yeah, but no, we do get more. Yeah, we do get more daylight.
Yeah, and I'd say like, yeah, definitely fluctuating hormones. Like nobody eats the same has the same regime throughout the whole month. I mean, some people do, so they're
gym
probably a
rats.
little more
Gym
regulated.
rats.
But
Yeah.
Regulator.
yeah, like definitely with when I get depressed, like mine's like hard and fast. It passes within a couple days, but it gets like really bad, like very unhealthy thoughts. But then like 2 days, 3 days later, it's like it's done, and it's like I'm feeling great and everything. So it's definitely a testament to how everybody experiences it differently. And mine is very spotty. Like I haven't had. I think like a month or two ago, I had like a little, I guess you can call it episode. But like before that, it probably hadn't cropped up in like 6, 8, 10 months or something.
Yeah.
But it's just like a really sharp like peak, and then it's just gone. And then like, because it's so fast, I don't think I normalize it. And so like, I can't think of anything like outside of that. And it's really kind of somewhat similar, but in a different form to how you're saying it. Like it's hard to like think outside of that space, even if it's only a couple days, because it's so quick, and I'm not used to it.
I'm the worst with it because I get depressed and then I'm just calling myself names Like, you a little bitch, boy, get over this.
See, that's like what's interesting to me.
That's just like, I can't, and I don't stay there for too long because I'm also telling myself, I'm like, bruh, this ain't forever, bruh. Like,
yeah,
you gotta like get it going.
Well, it's also like, it's kind of hard because I know you internalize a lot of stuff. So
That's what
like
it is,
a
exactly.
very strong, and for me too, that's a strong coping mechanism. And it's like, one part of you is like saying like, oh, I feel this way, and the other part is like, this isn't forever, so just like
4 days of sadness, but
get over it.
4 days of me saying that to me at the same time. So then, like by day 5, I'm just like, well, I just gotta do something.
And at the same time, it's like you can also or like not saying
should,
anybody
yeah,
should, but
no.
it's like it's okay to feel like that for a couple days, and it's like
I think that's my biggest like desire. I think if I ever were to be like, if people were ever be like, oh yeah, Sean, mental health or everything like that, or like well-being, I think I like the idea of well-being more than mental health because it broadens it. But like it really is, the thing is like, I do believe that everyone experiences depression. I do believe that everyone experiences anxiety, and I do believe that everyone experiences them on a regular basis, but the amounts are different, and like the way that we cope is different. Specifically the voice that tells you that you are like, you know, what you
I know
said,
exactly.
that voice to you and how you interact with it is different between that voice and me and how I interact with it, which is you. And so some people will hear like I imagine David Goggins like gets that, you're a bitch, and then he goes, no, you're a bitch.
No,
like that's his thing. I'm guessing.
Like, depression, I don't hear the depression voice in my head. I physically feel it. Yeah. So then, the whole time in my head, it's just like, bruh.
Yeah. It's more of a somatic response.
Exactly. So that's like what the internal battle I feel like that's my depression.
Well, I'd say that's a great, I mean, not that the depression is great, but I would say that you're recognizing that it's somatics, or that it's like visceral or like physical. Because that's a better telltale sign than if you're waiting, or anybody are waiting around for their mind to figure it out. Because generally, like, we, and no one has to agree with this, but I think we as humans like to pretend that we're way smarter and we have way more control over our brains than what we actually do.
Like no control.
It's like really, like, you know, when I feel depression, it's physical. Like my sleep changes, even the way my face looks changes. But like, and like me paying attention to that, I'm able to cater to myself. I can take care of myself in the way that I need. Whereas like, I think for the voice, if like, I mean, maybe not everyone feels this way, but like, there's a million different voices shooting off all at once. Like, and like, they're all like, some of them are great things in my head. Some of them are wild and out, you know, it's not necessarily the best place to listen and sift through to find some clarity sometimes.
That's the whole thing where it's hard to say it, but like you have to kind of like condition yourself to believe it is like you are not your thoughts.
Yeah.
Which
totally.
is because, like you said, there's 1,000 different thoughts and sentiments flying through your head like every hour, and some just like, you know, some just fly over your head and you don't really give it a second thought, and some like you will latch onto it, and it's hard to let go even if you know it's not true.
Totally. And you come around and around. You know, we were talking about this many episodes ago. It just sounds cool to say many episodes. I don't really, it could have been a couple, but we were talking about who I am, who me, you know, and stuff like that.
I remember that one.
And I think it's really important but hard to do that deciphering of like, I have to be here to interact with the world. So yes, this I has to exist, but also at the same time,
who is that?
This I doesn't necessarily have to be like, I can't make it stone, because if that's the case, then I can't change. I don't change. And you start having those thoughts of like, you're a bitch, or like, here you go again. You're doing the same. Like mine generally like will be kind of like, oh, we're here again. And then it goes through the whole we're here again scenario. And it's kind of like this voice that's trying to like be helpful, but actually it's just being
Tony Perkins or whatever his name is.
Perkins power. Yeah, it like, you know, it's kind of like that, and I think like there has to be a space of being like, okay, I know I want to have this I or me in terms of interacting in the world, because I kind of have to, because that's how people see me. I can't go around this world and be like, I'm absolutely non-existent, because there's no way to interact with it. But at the same time, I can't really hold on to things too tightly, because then I think that's when people go, oh, I am depressed. Or like with chronic pain, and I know friends with chronic pain, if you start thinking that you're your chronic pain, then you're never going to get out of it. I just personally think like, then that becomes your depression. Like, oh, I am my pain. Oh, it's always going to be here. And so I am this thing that's always going to be depressed. And like, it's really kind of an interesting, I guess, teeter-totter, because at one side you have to believe something of yourself, but the other side you don't want to really, you have to also be open to not be solid. You can't, like, you don't, you know.
It's the joys of living, man.
Yeah, I kind of like had a struggle probably a few years ago of like, I don't really know who I am. And I think I went through probably a lot of my 20s thinking like, oh, I know who I am. I know I'm this guy and this is like how I am. And I wouldn't say a bit of a crisis, but like definitely a struggle with like my identity. And I think that's more like it was more of fortuitous, you could say. It was like kind of like a blessing in disguise, in that like I was rethinking a lot of my behaviors, my like thought processes, my perspectives on things, and like just like,
was it good or
behavior and
bad?
routine. I think it was actually a really good thing. In at first I struggled because, you know, I felt I lacked this identity. Like I thought that I had for so long, like a concrete identity. But then I was like, I realized I had a lot of these behaviors and ideas that I'm like, these are things that I thought of in like shortly after high school. Yeah. I'm like, it came to realize like I'm nothing alike mentally or physically how I was in high school. So like, why am I holding on to these things, these kind of like
constructs of life?
Yeah, constructs, and like,
Yep.
like almost like a monument of like who I am, like for so long. And for no, they had no purpose. They were just like, I thought these things for so long, and then
They became.
yeah, they kind of like manifested themselves. And then I realized like, that's like a thought. I became these thoughts. And I was like, yeah, routines are hard to let go, but certain thoughts, it's like,
Inception?
once you try something else, then it's like, oh, I'm not that. And I just was doing the same thing.
That's why
And I expected the same result. And then, but once you do something else, it's like, oh,
Getting
it's easy
outside
to
your
let go of
comfort
things.
zones, good, within respect.
Yeah. But I think too, like you were saying, you have this idea of who you are, and it's so important to have this idea of who you are, because it's how you navigate the world. Like that's that person.
Do you have to have a self-identity?
I mean, that's a great question. I
feel like I truly don't have one. I never define who I am.
Well, see, but here's the weird thing I would say to you is I'd flip it, and I would say that you, though, used the definition of other people to define you.
True.
Like that's how you define yourself.
That's how I would. Yeah.
You know? And like that's the kind of the wild thing about it. What I was going to say is like, we, especially right now in society, like we have a lot of scenarios where
Getting this right.
old definitions we're locked in. We right now in society we have a lot of spaces where like we're pushing against like definitions, right? Like let's just say, you know, anything with like a they, their, that's an easy one. Talking about gender and sex, like I think that's a pretty open one. One side of it, you have a whole lot of people saying like, oh, you can't change that because that's the fabric of our, you know, society. And to me, I look at that and say, well, they're looking at it on like, they can't define who they are if they change the outside. Like, wait, who am I or what am I if that doesn't exist anymore? So that's one. But the other side of it, I think, is we use identity to move through the world. So like for Josh, when you were talking, your identities, when you were like, oh, I don't, you know, that I don't connect with, I think about when people talk about like, especially in like the self-help zone, like blocks, like that's like a thing where like, well, if I want to move beyond or I want to grow, then there's some type of ideas of myself or versions that can't exist. Like I can't be like I think you'll probably agree with this, Trey. Like people who like never let go of like their garage band mentality. Do you know anybody like, you know, they're like, I was in the band and we were in this band and like they never let go of like the fact that that was it. Where it's like you were, but you don't have to be that person right now. You still don't have to be the person that was like, you can go beyond that. But if you don't go beyond, if you keep that identity.
Oh, maybe. Okay, maybe.
You don't still have to be like, I mean, this is in Costa Rica a little bit ago. It's like, you don't have to be the punk rock guy. Like that doesn't have to be your forte. Like
exactly.
you could try other things.
That's exactly.
I'm not like advocating to try like new metal or rap or rock rap, but you know, like you don't have to be that guy. You can. It just sounds like you kind of put yourself in a corner and you never leave it.
That's kind of like what I'm getting. It's kind of like once you identify yourself, once you've plateaued.
Or you like it was a good thing for you, and that's not to take anything away from it, but it's like that doesn't have to define you for the rest of your life.
My identity is where I've stopped progressing.
Yeah,
and that's now what I consider my identity.
Yeah, and then you hold on to it so tightly because
that's your identity.
The idea of not having it means there's nothing below your feet, you know. And like I was thinking about this past week about shoes and how
you're never a shoe guy.
No, dude, I have to bring this picture in. There's this picture of I was like, thank God, Mom, I can show them. It's a picture from like it's maybe 2007.
You wearing some Dunks?
I'm wearing some Dunks. I was like, look at me, I can prove it. But no, it made me think like the one thing I really enjoy about the shoe thing, and I was telling Laura this it's like it's decorating my avatar. It's this, you know what I mean? And you did this year. You were talking about like a whole new fit, right?
Dress different, yeah.
And it's like because that opens you up, right? Like you get to be you're not just the same dude without wearing.
I felt like we got to a place where no one was, and then everyone got there.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for me, I never wanted to be where everyone else was. So I was just like, okay, I know a lot of people aren't doing this, so I just maybe should do that.
Try it out. And like for you, Josh, I know you wear lots of colors. And I remember like being like, dude, that's like, I was like, I bet you Josh has every color of the rainbow. Like for sure. No question about it. And to me, that sounds probably an easy thing to look over for people. But like the way that you dress your avatar is a way that you
self-representation.
It's exactly it, you know? And I think that like
it's not much you could do, so it's like you might as well not look like everyone else.
Yeah, if it's not your hair or like a piercing or tattoos or something, it's you don't have really much else to do except for your clothing.
Yeah.
Dang, so look out for people, be kind, love each other.
And like I would also say like you can not love people and still be kind. Like you don't, and I mean that.
You can have love for people. That doesn't mean you love them.
Totally. And also like when
respect is a better word.
That's a good one. And also for people like when if I were to say like look out for your people, like just in a sense, it's not looking out like you're on defense. Like you're not trying to be like a helicopter parent. You're just taking care of your garden. Like if you're a gardener, you gotta watch out. You gotta see what's coming through, and you gotta pay attention to it. And you speak to the plants.
Just be present.
Exactly.
Be let know made that you're available.
Yeah, I think that's it.
To use
got it.
Business terms, be like proactive and not reactive.
Proactivity.
Don't look for signs.
Yeah,
because usually by the time you find signs with anything, whether it's your garden or somebody's well-being, like it's usually too late, or something is already like
bad.
Yeah, it's manifesting outward signs, so it's like there's already a lot of internal things going on.
But if the signs are the first thing you see, at least speak up.
Yeah, I mean, like, and don't like it. You can express that you're low without being low. You can express that you're angry without being like you're not an angry person. You're not a sad person. You're not like a, you know. And I think like there is definitely still a huge stigma. Especially in the social media realm, because that's the easiest thing that we see is like we'll say kind words like, you know, take care of yourself and you matter and you're loved, which is all true, but also speak. You can say like I also am experience sadness. I also like that. No, and that doesn't mean that you're a sad person. Like you don't have to shy behind like the fact that the emotions are everywhere.
Well, it's okay to center yourself sometimes too. Like you don't have to always be altruistic. It's like I think it's also to like that veneer of happiness is like very easy to like pierce through.
The veneer of happiness.
And I think that's a lot of the things like when Sean's talking about like wellness and stuff. Like a lot of people. Also
it's a facade.
The toxic positivity thing is like everything is like you just keep projecting happiness, and that's like that's all it is. It's like a projection. It's not. I don't think like
It's religion,
like
man.
like hormones, like from a scientific point of view, it's like you can't be happy all the time because like that's just like
It's not
Impossible.
you're not
possible.
always like the hormones, your experiences, like your diet, exercise, everything. It's never the same every single day, much less every month. So
Appreciate that. With that being said, how you been, Josh? How's your week?
it's not bad. It's not bad. I will say it was interesting. Okay, so last Sunday I was at a wedding for a longtime friend. Shout out Ken and Rochelle.
Okay.
And I was like, I haven't been to a wedding in like years, probably like 5-6 years. When was like Roger's wedding? That was like 7 years.
That was a while.
That was like 10 years ago. I don't even know.
Yeah,
Maybe in a long time. Like maybe more of my friends need to get married. I don't know what to tell you guys. But I hadn't been to a wedding in years and forever. And then we went to Costa Rica, and then I went to one, like it was a wedding
got hit
2 or
with the
3
love
weeks apart.
back to back.
Yeah, and it was great, but it was like interesting in like I grew up with you guys too, but then like when I was at the wedding last weekend, like I felt like 80, maybe 90% of those people, they all went to high school together. And they were all within like 3 to 4 years of each other. And I was like, wow, I really took like a left turn. Like 80% of this like group, it's all nurses and shit. Like that's because it was a Filipino wedding. So it's like all these people they know each other. They've known each other. They grew up with each other. All their parents know each other. And I was like, wow, I took a detour in becoming like, well, first, like not growing up in that community, being in Eagle Rock, not being a nurse, like becoming like a creative, just that road to get there alone has been probably way different than all those other people, especially since a lot of them have kids, are married. So it was kind of just like an interesting contrast to see, like, and kind of reflect on like how far I've come, where I came from,
Where you could have, where
I could have been. I mean, like, wow,
But that's the plight, I think, of creativity.
Yeah.
It's always like, God dang it.
well, dang, if I would have became a nurse, nurses are so well paid. I mean, I just started watching Grey's Anatomy last night. Shout out Marlene for
like
that.
22.
I'm not going to watch all those episodes, that's for sure. But it's like the medical profession, like they're
Every
well
Latina's a
compensated.
nurse.
Filipinos, I think they definitely have to dominate in terms of like their.
Well, those are like real nurses. I'm talking about like
Well, what's a fake nurse?
the
ones on
the
TV?
Latinas are like the ones that go to like.
Oh well, there's like RNs, there's registered nurses,
Yeah, I'm
there's
not talking
licensed
about
vocational
RN,
nurses,
I'm not
like
talking about
and then there's
you know
like
what I'm talking about.
assistant, dental
I'm
assistants.
talking
like,
about like the phlebotomist and the freaking.
oh well, those
and the
aren't
freaking
nurses. Those are
X-ray
phlebotomists.
techs and the freaking-
Hey, I went to
X-ray techs,
school to study to be
You
an X-ray
can.
tech for a little
You
bit.
can.
X-ray techs.
'Cause I think no, JoJo he was putting like the tubes down people's throats.
That
Oh,
looked
that's what he
different
did?
when you
That's
were
all
saying
it was?
like you put
Breathing. Yeah,
tubes.
he was bawling, bro, and this was
Yeah.
years ago. Bawling.
But yeah, no, they make a lot of money, but they're
course.
very well compensated. But like even just watching
Would you
that
be happy just
first
chasing money though?
episode, like, well, it's just like that's a lot of emotional
Hands-on
labor
shit,
you
yeah,
do.
yeah.
Dealing with people in life and death situations. Like I'm not good in hospitals. I've been through too much of like that sort of a lot of kind of sad instances in those spaces. So I don't think I do well in that. But yeah, and then also I was at Millicent and Neil's place last Saturday for a barbecue. It's great. Neil,
up, Neely?
those I'm saying your name.
I just put them together.
Yeah, we allow it now.
Those drums were hitting last weekend. They were great.
Oh, he did some drumsticks.
He was.
Yeah, he was working the Weber, working the Magic, and it was great. Just like I actually haven't seen a lot of those people. Shout out Emmy and Jen. A lot of those faces. I haven't seen Robbie either in a while. So shout out all those people.
Yeah, that's dope.
But it was funny. You guys haven't been in a bit, but like Robbie's girlfriend Haley, she got stuck in the bathroom.
At his house?
Yeah.
Oh, because the handle fell off?
Yeah, and so like literally
Did no one know?
well, like they said like they've had like, you know, people like
Yeah.
had to like had some like scares and stuff before. Even like Marlene went, she got to meet some new faces. She's like, "Oh, I got scared for a second. I thought I got stuck." And then Haley actually did get stuck, and our friend, or Millicent and Neil's friend Morgan, she came in. She like had to climb in through that exterior
side window?
like outside to inside. Like tried all this stuff, like couldn't fix it. Couldn't like even knock the pins out of the door hinges. Still couldn't because like the slide, the bolt was like stuck. So they actually like Morgan's friends actually had to come over and like do some like it was like some Titanic rescue shit like where he actually had to do something with like the knob, like the mechanism and stuff.
Yeah.
Like had to remove that or whatever to like
Get her out.
actually, yeah. And it was like that was like a solid like hour and a half to like that Operation Restroom Rescue or something.
Jesus. So what? The knob fell off.
Yeah, I think like the pin or something wasn't like connecting, and so it was just like a whole thing. But shout out Crystal, shout out Chingy. I was like, Xander was there.
Oh, that's dope.
I was like, saying should we instead of calling him Phil's brother, we should call him Chingy's sibling. Just a little workaround, you know. A little loop.
He was doing the drumsticks.
Yeah, he was
flamed up.
barbecuing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing his thing. Jake said he was going to be there. He wasn't. He was hungover.
Oh,
Looking at you, Jake.
looking at you.
I was there. You were not. But yeah, I got some tea. I think I think I told you over the phone. I can
a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
I can share some of that stuff later. But
Yeah, a little bit.
no leaks.
None.
Got those NDAs in effect. But
Fully.
yeah, besides that, this week, just kind of like, I think I'm just finally feeling normal after Costa Rica. I think just feeling like
Not there.
when we came back, I was already feeling like shit, like physically and then like just emotionally and mentally tired. But the weekends have been really full, like with Thanksgiving coming back. So felt like we hit the ground running coming back. Didn't really get to have too much rest. But I mean,
He really didn't.
yeah, just feeling back to homeostasis this week. So it's been good. It's a very, I just chilled last night. I don't know if you guys did anything. I just like chilled.
I ate some Juan Pollo and passed out.
Watched episode of Grey's Anatomy. Finished Midnight Mass. You said you've seen it. I thought that was a great show.
It's good. Yeah.
Especially with like growing up Catholic, seeing like all that stuff. It was good. I worked back from like saw Fall of the House of Usher, and then it's like I really like the show and watched like almost everything they've done before that.
Is there a bunch of stuff?
A good amount,
Yeah.
at least like 5 or 6 projects, and he has a couple movies. I like how they use the same actors in a lot of the stuff.
Kind of has that like American Horror Story vibe.
Yeah,
The same actors.
I feel like they enjoy working with this a lot of the same crew just because it's like a lot of those actors have a lot of range. I'm glad that I thought he was Indian at first, but is he Arab or something? But he didn't have to play a software video game developer for once. So that was nice.
Yeah, you get stuck on that one.
But yeah, other than that, what else is going on this week? I think one big thing that everybody's been seeing on their socials is Spotify Wrapped.
Wrapped.
Do you guys,
what's your Wrapped looking like?
Yeah,
Josh?
What is yours, Josh?
Well, so I don't necessarily agree with it. Like they put a lot of like I don't even really listen to like a lot of like I don't go to artist profiles and like search their catalog. I listen to a lot of like release radars. Like a lot of great music. The algorithm is strong on that one, but they put like all these like they put Norah Jones as my number 3 artist, and I love Norah Jones. Like disclaimer, I don't know no shade for her, but she's definitely not my top 5 artists. It was like,
what's her big hit? It's on the tip of my tongue. Like
honestly, I can't say like because like I listen to her stuff often, but like because she's been doing a lot of these collaborations, and like every week she'll have like a new song out with a new artist. But it said like Scary Pox, it's this cover band. They're great too, but like they're definitely not my favorite artist. Little Dragon, I think, was number 3. Love them, not my favorite. That's definitely Marlene's thing because like we went to see them live,
yeah.
and like I was just like, oh, re-listening to a lot of their stuff. Listen to the new album. Bad Not Good, number 4, which
that
like
was okay, right?
I did have a phase when I was watching Atlanta. I think I was watching the 3rd and 4th seasons. I definitely listened to a lot of them. And then Valley Queen number 5.
They played Flog Gnaw too.
Oh, really?
Bad
They
Bad.
probably had a
Good,
great
yeah.
set. They
It was
probably had a lot
weird.
of
Yeah, it
like,
was like
guests
I
and
was
stuff.
when I was just I was like, oh, they played.
They probably had a lot of like some cameos.
Yeah,
And
for
stuff.
sure, right? Because they're like an instrumental thing, right?
Yeah,
More than
yeah,
not.
kind of
Yeah.
like it's really like the guests that come
kinda,
on that
yeah.
provide the vocals. But a little detour real quick, then we'll come back. But did you know Donald Glover, Mr. Childish Gambino himself, opened up a boba shop in Silver Lake?
No.
I just heard that yesterday from my coworker.
That's
Hey,
cool.
What's it called?
I have no idea, but that's interesting.
I'll have to look it up.
Glover's Bubbles.
Back to the raps. What's on? I mean, I saw your rap. It looks. I
Spot
I can
on.
see that. Yeah,
It was
very
just
accurate.
Key Glock, fucking what is it? Metro, Drake, Travis Scott, Hit Boy.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty much spot on.
That was it.
Spot on.
That was basically what I
Spot
was
on
bumping.
Spotify.
Oh yeah. Spot on Spotify. What about you, Sean?
Well,
Was that your week though? Your week was okay.
my Spotify was a bit like because it's only started in
Oh,
in August.
because I felt like it was your rap was a little too big, but I didn't want to
So my
say
top-
anything.
you have a lot of throwbacks on there. I bet.
I was like, raps. He was like, that's a big chunk. I don't think he has that much rap, but hey, could be wrong.
I do, but no, my top 5 artists are funny because it's just like it was R.L. Grime, Bring Me the Horizon, Jordan Ward, Thrice, and then Bronze Whale.
Well, bring me the Horizon tracks.
Yeah, Bring Me the Horizon.
Jordan
tracks.
Ward, I could see you had a little stint, but that's
Yeah.
a little stint.
Yeah, that's what I was like. This is kind of a little, but I was like, it said Vapor Twitch, which is
What is that?
It's just a made up sound. It's a made up genre by Spotify. So that's when I got into this thing because Spotify makes up genres, and they have a sister website that basically will like write about it, and then Spotify
Just takes those things.
Yeah, uses it
So
like
you're a
it's-
vapor twitcher?
Yeah, basically, all it is future house. So it's like they're like, oh, like Vapor Twitch, like Odessa. I'm like, that's just like not.
I'm just trying to true rap.
Well, that's what like Sam like Chingy like her top genre was Stutter House, and it's like what the fuck
Stutter
is-
House.
Just because
Yeah.
it's like
What did it say your genre was, Josh?
like indie rap, like
Okay.
indie soul.
I got the indie soul. Like
I saw the
everyone
indie
got
soul.
the indie soul.
I just had rap.
Yours is just one
just
big
like
wrapper that
the
says
layers.
rap.
It's just
rap.
one. It's a rap
That's
sandwich.
hilarious.
Just a rap-
You got
rap in
nothing
between
else.
I
rap
had
and rap.
it just said rap.
Damn, that's
Well, you're
that's a rap.
You're a straight shooter. Could say that
No,
much.
this year, yeah, it was about just rap. But yeah, it was a big old hamburger of rap.
I mean,
Rap burger.
got that rap burger. Yeah, I feel like mine matched pretty well. It's got like because the bottom was just rap and
What is this? I can't
EDM.
hear. Oh, you're looking at it. You're
Yeah, I'm
reminding
trying to
yourself.
see my sandwich.
Yeah, so it's got indie soul, vapor twitch, alternative R&B, which I really want to know what alternative R&B is. I'm guessing like
Jordan Ward.
Daniel Caesar and stuff like that. Yeah,
Jordan Ward. That's alternative.
Daniel Caesar seems like straight up R&B.
That's
soul
R&B.
type
Yeah, I
stuff.
would say like a Jordan
I don't-
Ward or like Daniel Caesar's just R&B.
I suppose.
Okay, so I have, let's see, sandwiching, indie soul, rap, alternative R&B, indie pop, indie hip hop. Sounds about right.
Okay. That was extensive.
Very indie.
Very indie. I'm so
You're
indie,
so
guys.
indie.
If you want to hear indie Rex music, turn
I'm
me.
your guy.
You're
I
always
am.
an indie, not an Audi.
Yep.
I mean, I get that worked.
Trey.
It did land.
Hit the nail on the head with that one, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, so when I was looking up the Spotify thing, that's what got me on the whole thing about kind of how messed up it is in terms of, I guess, like
It's
like
a business.
They've always forever gotten 0.003 cents on a play, like
Per stream, yeah.
per stream. So I know that's not new. But starting 2024, anybody who doesn't stream over,
So you just have to pass a certain threshold.
yeah. But basically, it was basically saying there's 2/3 of the songs on Spotify currently don't pass that threshold.
Yeah, because basically they want you, the way Spotify, I think they won't pay out anything unless it hits $100.
Yeah, and then so it basically they're doing a pay it forward or roll it forward, I guess, kind of thing. But that part was a little bit vague in terms of if you still got paid for it in the article I was reading. And it basically said that it's terrible for artists, which we already know that. But then the top 3 record labels are stoked on it because they just get to keep more of the money because they're not having to like, none of that gets, I guess, paid out. Again, I didn't fully understand the business complexity of it, so don't, I can't give you all the information, but it does make me think, it's kind of like the writer strike thing, I guess I could say. Like Daniel Ek, I think his name's Daniel Ek, owner of Spotify, $3.3 billion. All that money is mainly from Spotify, so
it's advertising though.
Yeah. So, he's a guy that owns, he's not a musician, owns nothing like that, but basically is making money off all musicians. And it does make me think that like you really, at least when we were like younger, there was actually an idea of like you could make money off being a musician. And I feel like now you have to be a character. Like you have to be like,
you couldn't make money off music back in the day though. It's the same thing.
I mean, this is kind of an extension of how like labels were always like fucking the artists and stuff.
Well, it's a bank, so I mean, for the Spotify owner, it's like it's a business. I mean, he should make some money, but how much? It's relative to say.
Do you, as a musician for yourself, and also somebody that like I feel like has some skin in the game, do you think though that type of business plan is good for music and good for creativity?
I mean, it doesn't promote the best creativity from artists, no. But, I mean, if you're making art for the basis to make money, then I think you're kind of lost already.
Yeah.
Well, like
I know you got to make money to keep the lights on, but I'm just saying if you only create, like the only reason why you create is to make money, then you're gonna fail.
basically catering to trends and like making music for the audience, not
or
for
even
yourself.
if you just make art for the sole basis in your mind is one day I'm gonna make a lot of money off of this. Like, it's almost impossible. You're gonna fail. Like, it's never been where you could just create something and then make a lot of money from it. The people that do that are like the outliers. Everyone in every industry that's made money, they probably brand dealed, market. You know, they've leveraged what they can do with something else. It's never been, I think, for musical artists or any kind of artists, what you can just create, and it's just been diminishing since the beginning
of time.
It's a bit
of record labels.
Well, it's a bit of like a lot of those people, they sacrificed and stuff at first before they lost money before they made money.
Well, back in the day, let's say a Prince. Yeah, he wants to own the rights to his music because he's like, I'm creating all of it. There's no reason why you should even have a piece of it. You're barely putting it out in marketing right now. To whereas, 30, 40 years later, the label is fronting the foot on everything. Production, studio
so
time.
We got to recoup that before you make money. We have to get our investment back.
Plus.
So that is like exactly like what you said. It's a bank.
Would you change if you had the power to change it? Is there something that would stick out that you would change?
No, I think the change has already been implemented. People just don't want to use the change, like a United Masters or Empire. They are technically a label, but they aren't going to spend money in an overhead expense for your project, so you get better percentages right off the jump.
It's like you got to prove yourself.
No, just whatever you do is you're doing it.
Like now is out.
All we're gonna do is put this on platforms.
Yeah,
that's like and it's like analytics.
All we're going to do is that you have to make the music yourself. You got to record it yourself. You got to push it yourself. All we're doing is getting it to platforms.
Yeah,
that's it. So to me, I feel like, but that's where the thing is when you go to artists, it's like, okay, do I feel like I can continue to make good products that will garner me money, or do I feel like I'm a flash in the pan and should I take this cash grab? And a lot of artists now, they're not real artists, they're not true artists. They just got a computer, learned how to do a little bit off of YouTube, maybe made something to where A&R was just like, oh, we got to sign this person. And they're just like, well, they're offering me $3 million, and I started making music yesterday.
Why would I say no? Yeah,
one or two are gonna hit.
Yeah,
like the Yachties and stuff like that. But how many people did we have to go through to get the one Yachty?
Many other Yachties.
Many little boats.
Many littles.
The
like,
limit,
you know
the
what I
limit
mean?
does not exist.
But that is where the labels are betting. They're betting that yes, we can bank all these people, but the one or two that are going to hit are going to cover the expenses for all these people.
Yeah.
The one Drake, the one Kendrick, the one Kanye. That's going to keep the lights on for everybody.
Yeah, because so in one essence, like it's not fair, but at the same time, it's like it makes sense. It makes business sense because it's like you're not going to throw money in a pit expecting. Like,
and that's the thing for independent artists. Like I said, if you go to a United Masters or Empire, you're footing everything.
Yeah,
you're your tour manager, you're your marketer, you're your promoter, you're your booking agent, you're everything that a label would just give you if you signed.
Yeah, now you're doing it.
You're doing it.
Do you think it? Is it possible to not use Spotify in this?
Yeah, and people do that too. To where, like, say Earl Sweatshirt. His last project he put out with Alchemist, it's not on Spotify. The only way you can get it is basically like by Bitcoining it off of their website. So you have to go to their website, use a cryptocurrency and buy it, and then you'll get a digital download.
Wow.
So that's crazy. That's not even like fiat currency. It's like, oh, you got to do something.
Well, they're only doing that to keep it to where they're getting everything.
Is
like,
that?
You know what I mean?
So you don't have to like, yeah.
It's
that's
no
like,
label.
It's like a loophole.
It's their
tax and everything.
They're
like that.
doing it exactly, and a lot of big rappers, not big, but a lot of rappers, and I won't say a lot. Few rappers have done this. I got to keep rephrasing. Few rappers have done this and seen success. Like a money man, he famously took his Empire bonus when he signed with Empire for his distribution deal in Bitcoin.
I remember. Yeah, I do.
That was like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Someone else did that in football or
what's his name?
Odell.
Yeah. OBJ.
Yeah,
Hopefully that
OBJ,
works
Odell.
out.
But yeah, no, he took his money in
before the
crypto.
crash.
So it's like there's ways as an artist to continue to do the thing you like to do in the way you want to do it and sustain a livelihood. You're probably not going to be the biggest, but you can sustain a livelihood. Now it comes to the point where most people don't want to just sustain a livelihood. They want to be the biggest, and they wanted the quickest and shortest way to get there. They feel like it's through a label.
Because it is still like, I think not as like, that's not your main gig. Like you could still be an artist, you could play gigs and stuff, but like to be completely independent, you could still do that. Like if you're a good artist, I think you can make like, not make a living, but like
Some money.
You can support a passion.
Yeah, you can make some money.
Because like there's a lot of people in like Los Angeles, Nashville, New York, like they're playing gigs and that like,
you can be on the circuit.
Yeah. The main thing is like, but if you want to make a lot of money, like it's still merch and shows. Touring is like that makes the bulk
It's
of
the
your
allure
money, right?
of all the stuff you can't pay for that a label inherently has in their back pocket, which they charge you way too much.
Yeah.
So that's where the whole thing gets kind of convoluted because they kind of own these studios anyway, but yet you're having to pay the label to recoup back on $200 an hour studio sessions when if I were to buy it, it's $50 an hour.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're paying a premium on it.
You're
when it
paying a
shouldn't be.
premium on it because it's just up front.
I think of Schoolboy Q a little bit because he's in no way, shape, or form always in any type of light.
TDE is in no light.
Yeah, I guess. Well,
That's how they operate.
Yeah. But I'm sure that he makes enough money to live his healthy, comfortable style.
And I only know this because I watch Back on Fig a lot, and they're real good friends from in real life. Like they grew up together type shit. And he told Smack from Back on Fig, he's like, bro, like I'm good. Like me. I don't need a rap ever again. He told him this after he made Crash Talk. He's like, I don't ever got to rap again. Me and my family are straight. You're my hype man. You got to figure out something to do.
Yeah.
Because I can't just...
Got you. I don't got you.
Because he doesn't even really do features or nothing, really.
Well, he's
does
like,
he?
bro, I'm going to perform maybe 2 months out of the year.
Yeah.
And if you're just my hype man,
Yeah.
you're only getting 2 months out of the year salary type thing. You know what I mean? He's like, bro, you got to figure something out. Like, because
You have to have something.
he's
on
like,
the side.
I'm okay. I'm okay. But so, yeah, it's like, it's weird because he probably has brand deals. TDE runs completely different than most labels being because I would call them a boutique label.
Well,
Yeah.
They're a small label, but a boutique label.
speaking of like making it big in the music industry, a very influential voice in the music industry. You heard about Forbes named Bad Bunny the king of pop over Michael Jackson.
I don't even understand. I don't understand.
I mean, because it's Forbes, it's a business magazine, and like I can understand what they're saying from a completely business metrics. Like he makes a lot of money, brand deals, performances, touring, like and his.
But do you think he's made more money now since Forbes is a business? And I haven't checked any of this out. But by them calling him the king of pop and it being Forbes, which is all about money, that would lead me to believe that Bad Bunny's made more than the Michael Jackson estate.
I mean, I think
to me it goes year by year. So when I read it, it's like he made more than The Weeknd this year, which to me is kind of still like, oh.
Well, yeah, like,
that just makes sense.
In like, yeah, in the time he's been in the industry, he's made more than Michael Jackson was making in that time period. I would say so, but like in a lifetime, no way,
no way.
And it's relative too. If we bought a house 100 years ago, it cost $5,000.
Yeah, if that 100 years ago, they probably pay you to
take it.
You know what I mean? So that's like, you can't
take this
like,
house off my hands.
Michael Jackson, all those guys' numbers are just gonna continue to get blasted over. Oh, well, not crazy ones, but like, some numbers. Like first week, obviously, we're blasting by those numbers, but then now we're not, because what was Kanye and them getting, like 6, 7s? That was the height of buying shit.
Yeah.
Like where you could go first week, like 600,000-700,000 physical copies.
Yeah, copies. Yeah.
That's when CDs were coming out. That's crazy, because now
you're smashing it if you do 100.
100.
I don't, and when it talks
like
about
T Swift money right there.
When it talks about plays, like I don't. He's the most played. Says that he's the most played artist on Spotify. Bad Bunny, 35.9 billion plays, but like that doesn't mean anything to me at all. Like
how many zeros are in a billion? 7?
8?
9.
9.
That just shows you that we are not. We don't got that money. But like,
you can't get that big.
It's like it's kind of like how we talked about a while back. Like you can't measure those things. You can't measure,
not with stuff you keep on inflating.
Yeah, and like okay, so he has streams on something that didn't even exist when Michael Jackson came. Like how are you going to say that, like, oh, because he has
streams kind of don't even make sense anyway, because it takes 1,500 streams to equate for one sale.
Yeah, well, because like even I don't.
One album sale is 1,500 streams. So when they say an album sold 100,000, that's really 100,000 times 1,500 plays is what it had in reality.
Well, like I did some funky math right there. I probably didn't do it right, but it was like 39 million streams. It's like $11,000.
That's exactly what it is. It's nothing.
It's like.
Also,
it's nothing.
It's like marketing more than anything.
Music for any artist right now is exactly that. It's just marketing. They make songs to market themselves to brands.
Oh, licensing deals. That's the other place to make money.
That's it.
And like, here's a crazy thing. It only takes 30 seconds to count a stream. So like Stream Farm, so for Stream Farms, they literally 30 seconds start, 30 seconds start, 30 seconds start. Like,
but because it's so because the payout is so low.
It's so low though.
That's why. And then most artists that already signed, they don't recoup any money off of streams anyway. All their money is off of touring and physical shit. Like,
should we go touring to the 90 fans we have out there?
Yeah,
but that's why you see all these people like podcasts going on shows and stuff like that, because I'm pretty sure that's outside of whatever deals they've signed.
Oh, you're doing math now.
Yeah.
The math is mathing right now.
He's Rain Manning over here. It ain't good. It's like a lot to make.
That's probably like $100,000 for like those 39 billion.
39 billion. Yeah, it's not a lot. It's like 100 grand.
Billion 900,000.
It's like 100 grand,
right?
That's too many zeros. I don't trust that many zeros.
Yeah, it's too.
But yeah, no, it's nowhere near the amount you would think it would.
Well,
be.
even 390 million it's a sus number. I don't like numbers.
Is it too small or too big?
No, that's too small. 390 million. That's like 7 zeros.
It's not a lot,
but it's like you need another zero on top of that.
That is right. 35,900,000.
Oh yeah, that's
35 billion 900 million.
Yeah, that's a weird number.
That's how many plays it was.
Yeah. 35.9 bill.
And it's
That's
0.
crazy.
It's like
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That would be times.
It took me a while to type it out.
But that's what like people like Meek Mill and them were saying when people were making fun of them.
No, it's a lot of money.
What is it?
That's
$1 million?
Wait, no, that's you'd be 0.00003, right?
No, just 0.003.
Like $1 million? What is it?
No, I thought it's a third of a cent because 0.03 is 1 cent, right?
They make
0.03 is 1 cent. Yes.
Yeah, they make
No.
0.003.
Yes, no, he's right. 0.03 is 3 cents.
So it'd be 3 zeros, then a 3.
Exactly, it is 3 zeros. It's 0.0003.
My math ain't mathing, that's for sure.
I believe that's what it is. 0.0003 is the payout.
Martin Lawrencing that? Believe that?
I believe that.
No, I think it's 0.003.
Because
that would be a third of a cent.
No, but that's what they're saying, that you get a third of a cent for every single one. 0.0.
No, it's worse than that. It's 0.0003. It's 3 zeros before a number.
It's only one way to find out.
Yeah, just look at it.
0.003.
0.003.
Yeah.
So
how much? That's still
not a
like a
third of
couple
a cent.
million.
It's 107,700,000.
But then that's like not directly to him. That's like still label
That's to
payouts
the
and everything
label.
like that.
For how many streams was that?
By the way,
39
that's 35.9
billion. Yeah.
Yeah, billion.
And then that's like how much did he make on his tour and everything?
That's
like,
where the
there's
money's
like,
coming in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think the merch, like, because you're paying $45, $50 for a T-shirt.
Well, that's where the artist gets money.
Yeah, no, that's why they charge so much, because like that's the only way they can make money.
That's where their money comes from.
If he were to get 40% of that, it's 43 million.
That's not how the game goes.
I know.
I
know. I think he maybe gets 15.
Well, how much did
nice.
Taylor Swift make on the movie?
She made a lot.
She made like 20 million off of that,
Yeah.
and that's like because she got 40% of ticket sales or something like that.
She was doing, but that's only because she had to deal with
AMC. But that was smart.
That's what you
also
gotta,
the popcorn and she did it all.
She did it all.
She had
all
concessions and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you're seeing all these people doing shows or merchandise, because that's the only place you can make money.
Because I think Julia, shout out Julia, she was like, I hate myself for buying this, but I'm still buying it. And it was like
a little-
yeah, it was like a popcorn.
If you're a fan of them, you're gonna buy it.
Buy it. Yeah, totally.
I buy like Vince Staples popcorn for sure.
Yeah, you're gonna buy it.
I buy a Vince Staples stapler, definitely.
Because the music, you got to imagine, everyone has Spotify or something. It's free. Music's free.
Yeah.
And that's how consumers look at it, though.
It's just like like the like the free apps that people complain.
Yeah.
Like I get it, the gotcha apps where it's like you have to pay to advance, but I'm like, this is a free product, so like expect advertisements.
Yeah.
That's like the whole thing I kind of think about when I'm talking about creativity, because people that are consumers don't understand the effort it takes to create something that's actually a good product. Like, and still people are getting really famous over shitty things.
Even an average product takes a lot of effort to make.
But that's what I mean. Like, dude,
A lot. Look at this project. This takes a lot of effort.
we are amazing.
I wouldn't call us subpar, but we're definitely at least par.
I would say we're
And it's effort.
Yeah, but it's a lot of effort. I mean, that doesn't like. There's the monetary effort that required hours of work, but then there's just the regular effort. You know, I don't think like consumers really understand that when you're just a consumer.
It's been diluted
for everything too.
Yeah,
I mean, I was on
everything's
that.
quick consume, so consumers feel like it should be really easy to make this stuff, or just stuff.
To
it
make
should be
stuff.
easy to make stuff.
Well, I think it's also why it's a lot easier sometimes for people to say that something sucks,
or it's too expensive,
or things like that. Yeah, but yeah, Forbes, you crazy for that one. That'll make sense.
Shit costs.
I mean,
MJ, I don't think you can take the king of pop away from MJ. I don't think,
especially because he's dead.
It's just a term. It'd be like,
especially just to be honest. I mean, I love Bad Bunny, but it wouldn't be Bad Bunny. Like
Yeah.
you can't, like I would put Drake well over Bad Bunny as far
Especially
as
legacy wise.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking,
totally.
And then Forbes is only talking about stream. I'm talking about impact.
I
legacy.
think in his like in
he
his
has
genre,
the
his
trajectory.
category,
He could.
Yeah, Bad Bunny is like the king of his.
But he's the
thing,
king
his
of right
genre.
now, though. He still doesn't have the longevity to where he's like the king. Because I'm sure there's still, I don't know the genre, but I'm sure there's respected people from the genre still that are older.
Oh, for sure.
That's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
That could have that crown and wear it way better than.
If we talking about large sums of money going into the ether, you've heard that they're trying to send a 3D printer to the moon, right?
Explain.
Well, they want to. Is it NASA? NASA wants to
send the printer.
Send a 3D printer. Well, you know how they have 3D printed houses and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah,
I assume it's something like that.
It's one of those
where it's like it's like concrete or something like that. But they want to send a 3D like a giant 3D printer to the moon
to do what?
To facilitate making infrastructure,
houses,
living quarters, whatever. Because it's like, but that's like they're not going to just send. Or I imagine they're not going to just send a big 3D printer. They have to send components. Like,
I think you could probably put the 3D printer inside the capsule if the capsule shoots up and they land. I mean, that's.
But then that's like you're shooting. You got to send like the people, obviously the people to like install the printer.
Yeah.
You need customer service.
I still don't think we went to the moon. I've been watching some more stuff, man.
Tell us more about this.
Do you like not believing it because it's more fun not to believe it than to believe it?
No, I think that it's just like with the actual real evidence of getting to the moon and stuff like that. I still don't think we're still not there. We still don't have the technology. Why? They said that the technology used to get to research this. They said the technology used to get to the moon back when Neil and the boys did it was destroyed, and they have no way to replicate it until now. They've been frantically working ever since then to get back to the technology because basically there's 2 huge layers of radiation that plume outside of the world, basically. And they say that it's so intense that it's impossible to get beyond those layers of radiation at the moment.
What about that Tesla that was shot into space?
For people to come back.
Well, but are you saying like, so, I mean, I'm guessing this is not outside of those layers of radiation. Like, you don't think that people have been shot people into, what's it called? The orbit, like around
I
Earth?
do. And then I had to watch videos of Neil deGrasse Tyson basically explaining, and he had a globe, right? Like a regular kid's globe. And he was using that as scale, right? Okay, now he says the furthest we've ever gone in space using a globe as scale, if everything was, globe size, 1 inch from the surface. He said that the moon is 30 feet using that globe as scale. He said that the nearest planet is like thousands.
It's gotta be miles.
Exactly, miles, if using a globe as scale. Now, if we've only been an inch away from the crust, how the hell do we get 30 feet and back?
Neil deGrasse Tyson said we didn't go to the moon?
He's never said that. He says the highest and the furthest we've ever gone with people is 1 inch. If using the globe as a scale, 1 inch from the crust. I don't know the feet
so
that is.
Saying
it's miles.
He's just like inferring that we didn't, or what are you saying? Or are you just taking on what he just said?
I'm just taking on what he said. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's.
I mean, I don't doubt his intelligence, but a lot of people like poke holes in Neil deGrasse Tyson. He presents a lot of false science too. Does he? I mean, like he'll like. I think maybe he oversimplifies a lot of stuff to like make it palatable for.
Of course.
I mean, but like, what about the International Space Station, or what do you think about that?
He says that hovers 1/16 of an inch.
No, I'm asking you. What do you think about that?
And I'm telling you his.
No, I'm asking
you.
Like
in his explanation, that would make sense if it's 1/16 away from the crust.
No, but do you believe we have a space station?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's like in our orbit still. Like he's saying to get beyond our orbit is like almost like infeasible, and to get back, it's realistically at the moment impossible still.
I don't know. Yeah.
So I don't know if we ever really went to the moon.
I mean, we have like, there's like so much technology out there. Like, cause I know like in a lot of comments on TikTok that when we posted like space stuff, they're like, you idiots believe we went to the moon. And then I mean, it's easy to say like, you believe we didn't go to the moon.
Well, when I do basic math, it's a little easier to think that we did it. 4 days to get somewhere that far away. That's all it took. How fast was that thing going?
It keeps the same trajectory
because there's no resistance.
There's no resistance.
So they say.
In space.
That's what.
Yeah. Well, space is a vacuum, so there's no drag or anything.
Exactly.
So like to get up to the speed, yeah, but then to maintain speed is like, I think that's less. Because you got these giant rocket boosters and shit, but I mean, I get where you're coming from because like there's
7 miles per second. It's pretty quick.
So if you're going 7 miles per second, let's do the math.
25,000 miles per hour.
25,000 miles an hour. How far away is the moon?
30 feet.
Exactly. That seems like more than that to me. If we've only been
Because to get off of like to get to this, like, I don't think it's like very long. It's like minutes or something, isn't it? To get to like say orbit, like it's just
quick.
minutes.
Well, that's what Neil deGrasse Tyson was saying though. When we call orbit, it's very close to the Earth still.
But what do you call an orbit?
I don't know. What are you seeing, Sean?
It's 238,900 miles.
Okay, so
What is
like
that?
from here to New York is about 3,000 miles. So that's like how many New Yorks away?
Shit, bro.
That's like about 100.
It's about almost 800 New Yorks. No, you said 3,000?
Yeah, that's about
almost
3,000.
80 New Yorks.
That's not that many New Yorks.
To get to the moon?
Yeah,
That's not right.
That's what it just that.
How far away is the moon from Earth?
200, almost 300,000
200.
miles away.
It's just
Light years or what?
No,
Miles?
miles.
What are you talking about?
238,900 miles.
Oh, that's way less than 300,000 New Yorks,
Yeah.
It's only
Miles.
200,000 miles away.
give or
Yeah.
take 30,000 miles.
That's not. What do you mean only? It's not close.
That seems really close. 200,000 miles
Yeah,
away.
80 New Yorks.
But into space, isn't like space only 5 miles away from us?
Well, I think that's talking about layers of like stratosphere and
That's
all
what
that
I mean.
shit.
Isn't
Well,
it?
that's what he said too. From the highest point on Earth to the lowest point on Earth, it's only 11 miles.
Yeah, that's
the
like
bottom of the
talking
Mariana Trench to
to
the top
like
of Mount Everest.
Yeah.
It's 11 miles.
That's a lot.
Well, what's it also saying like
I
it's
don't know if it's a lot though. That
well,
seems
you
like
know,
it's
like
not a lot.
what do they say? Like we know more about space than we do
Than we
the
do
bottom,
the
of, the
bottom
ocean.
of the ocean, yeah.
So it's like, yeah, we know about the moon, but we don't know what lives at the bottom of the Marianas Trench.
Possible.
I mean, okay, an airplane, you're at 30,000. That's
Feet.
Yeah, so that's 5.5 miles.
Okay.
So double that.
10 miles.
That's 11 miles.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty high up.
But from the top of our existence to
That's
the
what I
lowest
mean.
of lowest, that doesn't seem like a lot. That's like from Fontana to Claremont.
Yeah, but you're not looking at it. I mean, you got to stack
It's
that.
the same thing to me. I'm saying I could
It's the same thing to me.
It's the same thing to me. If I could drive it horizontally, I could drive it vertically. It would only take me 11 minutes to get from the highest point
because there's like
to the
there's-
lowest
there's-
point going 60 miles an
There's
hour.
atmosphere and like you just can't like the thickness and
You think
density.
that doesn't seem that weird to me.
That doesn't seem, but no, it does seem, if it's right, then that would make me think, well, what's below that?
The Earth's crust.
Rocks, bunch of rocks.
Oh wait, it's
magma.
It's
I believe it's more oceans.
maybe.
Ooh, have you heard of the hollow Earth theory?
That's
yeah, I know
close to-
you've had. Yeah, I know you've heard about that. Golly gee, I
mean,
shouldn't have asked that question,
Dude,
I know the answer.
Mount Everest is only 30,000, so it's just at. I mean, just below, so it's just at 5 miles tall.
It's not even that tall.
So, I mean,
it's
this-
very
thing.
so
tall.
Mariana's Trench is like 5 or 6 miles.
That's what
down.
I'm gonna say. So like that's like basically you at the top of. It's like
Sapphire.
It's not that big if you look at it that way.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't seem like a lot to me.
You're also the guy that said you could beat me in a race.
No conditioning.
No
With
conditioning.
smoking this doesn't seem like a lot to me. I'm like, dang, that's not
Well,
a lot.
I would say for either camp is like
Yeah.
you believe what you want to believe.
Exactly.
If you're looking for signs, you will find signs.
Yeah, I don't know if we went to the moon though. Who knows? Who cares?
Well, we're NASA working with this company Icon with their space printer. The idea is to use the moon gravel or dust or whatever the dirt as moon concrete, and they're going to build so
mooncrete.
everything that they're going to
Cosmicrete.
Cosacrete.
how can I get? Who do you think is going to put that? Who's going to be the first business like
Home
that?
Depot.
Like,
They got the money.
Somebody's going to be
Lowe's.
like Cosmic Crete, and you're going to
Cosmocrete.
Cosmo.
I would.
Mooncrete.
I mean, they're not going to ship rocks back here, but that'd be cool to
Why
like build a
wouldn't they?
house out of like cosmic crete.
I mean, the only reason I could ever see us
Radiation.
actually leaving the planet would be strictly
Because we destroyed it.
but to mine things.
Well, that's what India. That's why India went to the moon. Allegedly.
Where they went to, like a place no one's ever been to, right?
No, they just went to the South Pole, but then people were like, you didn't really go to the South Pole because there was like a conversation about that from.
Well, do you think like that India went there even without people? Do you believe that India sent anything there?
Okay, so I think that maybe we could send stuff, but I just don't think people have gone there yet. Stuff, yes.
Oh, so wait, if we're going 25,000 miles an hour, that would take like.
It takes. This is where
like,
I got confused.
They said it took them 4 days.
Hours.
They said it took them 4 days to get to the moon.
Well, because I guess you just have that initial thing, and then you just rely on the momentum, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe save some fuel to like break into the atmosphere.
3 days.
3 days.
Yo, okay, but also on this point, you heard about that new airplane, the subsonic airplane?
No.
It's supposed to take an hour.
It's like Japan.
No, it's something like. I have to look this up so I say it right.
Dexter. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Wait, what's that?
I just took his hand.
Freaking famous.
I think it's from New York to
How long?
an hour
To get to New York to LA?
England, not to England.
How fast are you going?
Oh, that's
You
like
go
6
out
hours.
of space, then you come back down.
Oh yeah, because you leave the atmosphere and then you come back. It's like you dipping.
Don't be mad. 90 minutes. 90 minutes.
How much is that? Oh, because that's like they want to make it commercially viable, right?
Yeah.
So they have to work with like NASA and shit to like.
Yeah, supersonic jetliner that would travel 4 times faster than the speed of sound. It would go into the substratosphere.
Wait, that's supersonic. That's not subsonic because subsonic is below the speed of sound. Right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Supersonic. It's like that Bad Religion song.
I mean,
That's like a giant jet fighter.
No, and then on the moon shit, we had so much hokey footage about it. That's what's crazy about it.
The hokey footage?
Yeah, like how do we have footage of the rover leaving, but there was no one controlling it, like and was zooming?
Well, I mean, if they were shooting back stuff via
what in the 50s?
I mean, satellites. I mean, no, I'm for real though.
So they had one remote control.
Well, everything that they were filming had to go through satellites.
Signaling.
Everything had to be a not satellite, but radio wave. Everything had to be like some type of wave. Like the talking, how are they talking through?
That's what I'm saying.
But you know that radio waves go on forever.
I do know that, but I'm also
I do know that.
But I'm also
so
saying,
matter of factly.
how did the and I get it. They saw no stars. Because they're saying where they were. I mean, it's just a lot of.
I would say the whole no
stuff.
star thing though makes sense. And you're talking about a camera that couldn't take in. I'm sure it wouldn't be able to take in, like.
So how was there light in the photos? How did they light the source in these photos if there's no light?
Because the moon's surface reflects light
From the sun, from the Earth. That's how the.
and still the sun too. Like I mean, they're not unless they're on the dark side. Of the
No,
moon.
but like one of the just how light reflects off of the moon to Earth. Like when it's a full moon outside, it's bright here, right? The same thing happens with the light reflecting off of the Earth towards the moon.
Earth.
So it does light it that way.
So that would be you getting lit up from the ground up, though, right?
No, it'd be hitting you.
What would be hitting you?
The light, the reflection off from the light from the moon or the sun. I mean, the sun to the Earth. So it reflects off of the Earth and comes at you. Just like at nighttime.
Just like you are rubber and I am glue, whatever.
Just like a full moon at nighttime, it's lit up. Like it's not coming from the Earth beneath you; it's coming from the sky. Does that make sense?
Because not if you were on the surface.
What do you mean? You're on the surface of the.
Exactly. So on the surface of the moon is just bright when we see it.
Well, I'm just saying that I think it gets light off of the sun reflects off of the Earth towards.
Also,
the moon.
look, if the moon is bright, why wouldn't you be able to see stuff when you're on it?
I don't know. Why can't you see stars in the pictures when they were on the moon?
Because it was because it was pointing towards Earth, right? And then
should be stars all around, right?
I mean, you're not that much closer. Like you said, you're not closer to stars.
That's what I'm saying. So if we could see these stars and you're just a little bit closer, why can't you see stars?
But could
the
they
moon?
see stars?
They said they couldn't see any stars, and they vaguely remember if they were able to see stars.
I blame.
I mean, maybe that's just some bad script writing.
Moon sickness.
But like, I don't know if that same camera that they could use if they were on Earth and shooting and they were looking up at a night sky. I don't know if it'd pick up stars.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like the ones that they were shooting them, like of them bouncing around and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, how are they lit up? How are they like key lit? Is what I'm asking.
Well, it's like Yeah, like the
I think the sun.
reflected light.
Yeah.
Because like, look, you can't even like with a modern phone, you can't take pictures of stars with your iPhone.
Yeah.
Unless you got
Night
steady.
vision.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Time-lapse and
actually
stuff.
did see some like I saw like some posts about a technique on how to do that.
Time-lapse.
I mean,
Somewhat.
also though, you also do like a little bit of a doubt.
Oh yeah, I mean, and it was just like because the Russians had already kind of been there or sent stuff there.
Yeah.
So we just Stanley Kubricked it. Basically, that's all I went down was a Stanley Kubrick.
I mean,
wormhole, and that was the initial part of it.
And that's how Eyes Wide Shut was made.
Possibly.
yeah, I could go either way. I think I'll just choose to believe that, like, yeah,
We went there.
We went there. I mean, doesn't really change anything down here. My taxes are still too high. But I guess they're gonna put some people on the moon by 2040.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a long time from now.
That's
But
what-
kind
what
of
year is it?
not,
15 years?
because that space
So why has
hotel.
it been? When's the last time someone been on the moon again?
Yeah, but we're supposed to be
91.
going.
You said again?
Yeah,
Was
but
it
no,
like 91?
that's just when people be living up on
I'd
there.
ask,
Oh, living up there.
Yeah.
will you, in
Living
15
there.
years, will you believe that we've been to the moon? Even if they send photos and stuff, will you believe?
He'll have to go.
There's just not enough evidence that points to we've legit been there. And
But
it
what
was so
kind of
easy to
evidence
get
would
there.
you need, though? I don't think it was easy, per se.
We were behind the Russians in every facet of the word, and yet we crumpled them in getting there and
Well, we
quickness
did.
of speed.
We did have Nazi.
I don't think they tried to go there. Yeah, we had Nazi scientists.
They had Nazis.
I mean, they got
we
got
took their
some too.
leftovers.
No,
got
like
some
they,
too.
yeah, but like
We had
they,
the leftovers.
We
no,
went in.
they,
No, we
they-
went in.
We got we got the
we
best.
got the best.
We
of
got the
best.
best Nazis.
Oh, because yeah, we went over there.
Jesus,
we went over there and handpicked the Nazis. That's like what we do
I'm
with
not saying, like,
adoption.
okay, not the best ones because they're all bad, but we got the
the ones
smartest,
that can run fast.
the smartest Nazis. No, not the super soldiers, but we got
we got
like,
to the Django Nazis.
Django.
Like how slave masters used to pick out the strongest, the brightest. We got the ones with the biggest heads.
Yeah, I mean, like, and they, from what I know a lot, like they just killed a lot of Nazis. I'm sure they recruited a few, but they killed a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we maybe made it to the moon, maybe not. It's just back then, I don't think we got there.
Well, I was gonna transition,
Yeah, get out of it.
but should I wait till Sean's done
yeah,
going
wait till
pee-pee?
wait till he gets out of there.
Okay, I could think of like a little
couple
segue,
more, a little bit,
you know,
yeah.
like
Yeah, no, but if any of you all out there have definitive, concrete proof that we've gone to the moon, please
maybe journals, written journals.
yeah, like
of
if
moon
your dad
landings.
was Neil or like your grandpa
or if you have a friend named Neil.
Armstrong or Buzz
What about
Lightyear,
Tim Armstrong?
Aldrin.
Buzz Lightyear.
Any Buzz or Tim, if you have any definitive proof, I would like to see it.
Oh, I got one. Okay, so speaking of killing fascists, did you hear that Derek Chauvin got stabbed in jail?
He died?
No, he got stabbed.
Yeah, he's
22
got stabbed
times.
22
By a guy who I think he was an FBI informant and then also part of the Mexican mafia.
That's cool. He needed something off his books.
He had to do a job.
He probably maybe been a pedo or something.
Oh, the guy.
Oh, the other dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy.
I was like,
the guy, the action boy. No, that's crazy. He deserves it. He deserves to get murked. That fool.
Well, this is. I mean, like I thought I'd have to see both sides of you. That was a strong opinion coming from you, Trey.
Was it?
No, not really. It's
Yeah,
it's probably pretty like everybody kind of like no matter where you fall, it's probably like I mean it's prison, you get stabbed.
You should.
And if it like definitely more than just a few times.
22 times is
that's crazy. Like he was trying to take him out.
yeah.
Well, because like I mean, imagine like protecting
yeah.
yourself, like one in the arm.
That's
like,
what I'm thinking, too.
that's, like,
How many are
probably
real?
5 to 10 in the
Yeah.
arm, or
How many
arms or
real ones
something.
are near vital organ?
How many real stabs you got?
Not a lot.
Dark.
Also,
depth.
what are they being stabbed
Yeah,
with?
yeah.
Like, is it a toothbrush shiv? Is it a?
Did you hear that? I don't know if they do it in a lot of places, but I heard that in maybe certain prisons, or if it's general, like they don't offer Jolly Ranchers anymore because people used to melt them down, make them into
harden
shivs.
them up, yeah.
So like when you stab somebody and you snap it off, and then they get
off.
sepsis.
Holy shit.
Allegedly.
Man, people are innovative. I'll give it to us.
I mean, you got to like, yeah, you know,
real,
like
for real.
lack
See,
of
we can get
resources,
the-
you get
We can get
scrappy.
the space, bro.
If you can make
Innovation.
a
You
shank
can
out
make-
of a Jolly Rancher, you can make a
Spaceship.
spaceship that goes
all
to the
that
moon.
stuff is just
For
like
sure.
like tin foil stop the radiation on them and stuff. Like tin foil,
Well, that's
And
why
duct
you wear a
tape.
tinfoil hat.
duct tape.
Why not?
That course hat is lined with tinfoil.
Bruh,
Duct tape
when's the
does
last time we
everything.
went to Hiroshima? And that was just a
Hiroshima, the bomb.
that was a nuke. That's
Yeah.
radiation, right?
That I mean, that's
Okay.
a form of radiation. Yeah.
Exactly. And we just went beyond it with tape and tinfoil. Like legitimately.
I mean, I wouldn't equate
We
exploding
still
a
can't
nuclear
go to
bomb
these
with
places that have been nuked. Only a nuke. I'm
Like, you
not.
can still go there.
Yeah, you can.
go there.
You can go.
There's, like,
you can
Nagasaki,
go
there's
to,
memorials and shit.
Can you go to what's the one in Chernobyl?
Yeah. People
go there.
Mhm.
They okay? They got 3 arms. What's going on?
No,
No,
they're
like they actually say wildlife is thriving over there,
Oh, I'm sure
Just, like,
because
less
there's
people.
stuff growing. Yeah.
and there's like I'm sure there's like bad mutations and stuff, but
I think with Chernobyl, I mean, you can have like that Geiger counter or something like that.
Yeah, you
Makes
got to
quirky
just see
sounds.
where the radiation is pumping at. No, but I'm just saying if we have to stay away from radiation, don't look in your microwave and stuff. And tin foil.
that's microwaves. That's
Tin foil stopped the strongest radiation ever known from hurting our
I mean-
astronauts. Tin foil and duct tape. Okay,
I think you're missing like some other pieces to that.
I think they were missing pieces of the shuttle. That's duct tape. But hey, I believe it.
I think there's more to it though than just that. There's an aluminum alloy, some graphite
No,
epoxy.
no. The ones the thing that brought them back after they left the moon.
Oh, the
What the rover, whatever that thing is
the
called,
pod,
the pod, yeah.
the-
Like, and then the way, just look at the way the pod takes off. Like, how do they have footage of the pod leaving the moon from the moon?
I mean, I've just probably pushed record. I don't know.
And how is the camera moving? Again, like I would say, just look at the footage in your own free time of our rover, whatever, leaving the moon. It looks crazy, like in not a real way.
They show it coming.
No, they show it leaving, and that's again. How do we have footage of it leaving? How are we zooming and moving the camera on the thing leaving the moon?
Well, aliens
leaving the
bro.
moon.
Leaving the moon. I'm not.
Well,
talking
you're not
about
talking about the rover. You're talking about like
the thing
pod
that left. That the boys left, and yeah,
Well, the atmosphere is very thin up there, so
true. No, because it has no thrust. You see no thrust, but it goes up, and you're just like, well,
because like you have to think
Gravity
because
is
it's a
different,
different
yeah.
propellant because like there's no oxygen up there,
Yeah,
so it's like
it's like-
it's like a
it's
probably
probably
like a
way
fireless
easier
thing.
to thrust something.
Might just
yeah.
be a bunch of cans of dust off. You never know that. Speaking of
Transition
propellant,
us.
like have you ever peed so hard you felt your heart beating while you're doing it?
from laughter.
No, like I was just peeing right now, and it was like it
Oh,
was very
like you
intense.
felt
I was
it?
like I
Yeah.
could feel my
You feel
heartbeat.
it?
Yeah, maybe.
Probably,
on
yeah.
drugs.
When it really has to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Giant,
kind of a,
that'd be a giant, like. Well, I guess it doesn't have to be that big. It could just be a back lot. That wouldn't have to be too large.
That's what they're saying.
Apollo
They're
13.
saying
Well, they've
Jared
been
Leto
saying-
lives there right now.
I mean, I definitely believe that. Oh wait,
he
on the
lives
moon.
on the.
He lives in the house where they filmed the moon thing at. That's what that's the whole lure right now.
Wait,
Wait, it's a house?
Yeah, he lives there. It's like, I guess maybe back in the day, Stanley Kubrick had a bunch of land and made like a compound and put a house on it, and that's where he filmed a lot of stuff at.
well, are you saying you believe Jared Leto?
Well, I'm just believing what real estate agents have to disclose when you buy a house.
Jared Leto lives here. I would stay away from there.
You know, so he knows he did at least used to live there or something of that nature. It's like a big old pad out here. It's like a compound or something.
Oh, I guess there's yeah. I mean, yeah. I
Yeah.
suppose there's a lot of room out there. Well, there's a couple topics on the board. Anything else you want to touch on, fellas?
If you want to go quick on that, I mean, other than that, no. Josh Giddy.
Josh Giddy.
Yeah.
Josh Giddy.
Did you know
Well,
that-
I just saw he thought that girl was 19.
Yeah. And it was in Newport Beach.
He was out here.
That was like wild. I didn't realize.
I mean, that you've seen pictures of she looks like she's from Orange County, so I mean that's
Yeah.
believable.
I like in these scenarios because it was put towards me in a good way. I don't think it's a bad way, but
What were the ages or the age disparity?
6
Because
years.
he's 21.
She's
and
15.
She was 15. That's
Yeah.
when it happened.
Yeah. Well, like it just
Oh, so this is all like it's not like I thought it was a couple years ago.
No, this was just like,
like it just
probably
happened.
a week or two ago.
Yeah.
So this all that stuff is like when he was in the NBA. All those videos of him.
those are like
all
That
those
was like
Snapchats and stuff?
that's this
It's like this
season.
year.
That's like
It's
a couple weeks ago.
I
Yeah.
thought that was like him in college.
No.
he's a baby too.
He's
He's
that's why I
21.
thought it was him in college. Though maybe like a year or two ago.
That's why, like, I tread lightly because yes, she's 15. Yeah, he probably knew, like he knew, you know, and like it's very predator. Also, like I think to myself, how many friends when I was in high school that were like dating dudes, like women, you know, girls that were dating guys that were like way older, and like it was.
It just depends on
Yeah,
the scenario.
I mean,
You
like,
know,
depends on the
there's-
scenario.
and so like
Context of the time, but like
the family doesn't want to help the police. The
No,
girls.
but I'm saying your outlook of it would depend on the
whole
like,
thing.
Like it all sounds bad, so I can't say too much. But it's just like I can only say like the Kylie and Tyga thing. Kylie clearly underage, 15, 16. Tyga, 21, 22, 23.
Yeah.
In that context, seems bad. I'm not
Well, I
saying
mean, look at
that was
like,
dating too. Like
and then
this
look
is
at-
like a hookup.
well, look at like
Still
R.
bad.
Kelly and Aaliyah.
that seems a little different though because I feel like this doesn't sound any better, but like
taking her out of state to
Yeah.
marry.
Oh,
her.
that was
like, there's a
terrible.
lot- like, in-
that was
in
premeditated.
the Kylie thing, it seemed like people of adult stature were there the whole time.
Yeah, totally.
If we're seeing this,
Yeah, it was. If photos are taken of this and it's in the regular, like it was a known.
I'm saying if
known
the public
dating.
is seeing this, how
Yeah.
could her parents?
Yeah,
Not, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, yeah, it was.
Isn't
It
that's
was.
where
It was like. It's hard to say because she's not a
is.
consenting adult. Like
That's what I'm-
But they're supervised. Like the parents are very well aware of all that.
have
and
to
then,
be, but that's assuming. I'm assuming we're saying that, but I'm just saying if we're privy to seeing that,
that's where like on this scenario, I'm not. I'm not taking any side at all. Though, like the amount of people that want to like hang Josh Giddy, I'm like, bro, the kid's 21, like, and it on paper.
it always looks bad.
Well, but like on paper, like it's a hook. It's like it's not a dating scenario. It's not a long term thing. It's not like they've been talking. There's like a huge like long term. It's not like text messages and phone calls. There's not like a whole lot of stuff like that. If that were to come out, different scenario because you can see grooming habits and things like that. But like I just think it's wild that people like want to put all their energy into like we're gonna hang this one kid. Like it is bad for what it is, but like.
Is there info? Like, did she lie about her age ever? Did he know how old she was?
Well, you brought up this good point. You're like the age of consent in Australia is like 16, so he's
Yeah.
I
like,
think
oh,
in
like
some
maybe he's
states
used
out
to.
here it's
But
16. I think in some states in America it's
don't-
16.
I don't know.
know about that. I think
Johnny?
it's other countries.
I think it's some states in America you can consensually have sex at 16 years old.
I don't know,
believe
but
it's
well,
like three
like
states.
okay. So Sean
I
had
would
a
say,
good point. It was like
Arkansas,
age of
Kentucky,
consent.
and Tennessee.
Wait, go ahead.
Age of consent is 16 in Australia, and then he was like, "Oh, so maybe he thought it was close." But I just saw earlier today he thought she was 19.
19.
So it's
he
like
did
he
think-
he is very well aware of the age of consent in America.
Yeah, it seems like
So I guess it's really up to like
What's going on?
what's going on, what's the parents, what's the thing.
And that's the thing too. Like I don't. This isn't one of those conversations where like I don't think that it sucks because the public don't need any say in this. Like clearly the girl doesn't want to say anything and the family doesn't want to say anything because they want to put her name out there. You can't release a underage person's name, so that's saving them. And the family's already said they don't want to like work with the police, and the female says she doesn't want to work with the police. So like that's the kind of scenario I'm like.
In America, it's generally between 16 and 18.
Yeah, it's 16.
There's states out here that it's 16 is the age of consent.
Well, also too, it's like I mean, sports is kind of a rough thing with like in terms of like legal cases. It's kind of weird because it's like, is it Miles Bridges on the Charlotte Hornets? He has he's like,
Oh, yeah.
has that. It's a pending
Domestic
pending
something? Was it
domestic
domestic?
violence.
Yeah.
There's like people who have gotten proven domestic violence cases, like, and
Yeah.
they're still in the league and everything
Yeah.
like that. Not just the NBA, but NFL. But then like, what's his name with the dog fighting thing?
Mike Vick.
Yeah, Mike Vick. He got
yeah.
crucified by the
Yeah.
media and the public. And like, that's not to say anything about like the lives of dogs any less valuable, but this is like people and stuff. This is like, you know, like mental anguish and stuff is going. And I'm not saying with like the victim in this case with Josh Giddy, but it's like when sports and money is involved, like there's a lot of like it's more of a gray area. It's not
Oh, for
it's
sure.
not black and white when there's money involved. It's a sad thing to say, but like I mean, look, the NFL is like still classified as a nonprofit organization.
Yeah.
Just let that sink in.
Yeah. I think like to me, like the whole idea that like people want to act like this is
New
and that he's a villain. I'm like, damn, bro, like chill out on that part. Like I feel like sometimes we do such a disservice by like we don't make the act or the action the actual problem. We make the person the problem.
It's the court of public opinion, man.
Yeah. And like sometimes the person is bad. I'm not saying like taking away from that, but like
P. Diddy.
Oh, I think he's a bad person.
I mean, he's probably bad.
So I'm saying.
Bad boy.
Yeah.
He
is
telegraphed
bad boy for
that.
life.
He telegraphed that.
He literally did say he's a bad
Been
boy
bad.
for life, you know.
Oh.
But then, can you get mad at people for telling you?
I mean, you can still get mad at the actions and stuff, like just because they say something.
still
It's like, oh, I'm a
deplorable.
murderer.
Is it when
And they murder somebody,
But
they're
you
like,
were
oh.
negligent on looking at
Totally,
it.
but like it's still deplorable action. Like
But
you
he told you he was going to do them.
doesn't make it.
No, I'm not making. Yeah, no, you're right. I'm not saying it makes it any better, but I'm saying you willfully looking away. What is that? That's where I'm coming. I'm like, if a person is telling you they're a piece of junk, but you're out here loving them and endorsing them, and the second you realize you don't like them, then now they're a piece of junk. Like, but
That's kind of how it works.
As
so it's
a-
just public opinion.
As a wise friend of mine would say, it is what it is.
It's all
That's
about
the way the cookie crumbles.
It's all about perception.
Man, this world's weird.
I mean, we got that other topic on the board. Do you want to touch on that, or do you think it's a bit loaded? We just put let's just put that one video at the end of it.
Yeah,
and not
yeah.
talk
What's the
about
video?
it.
You'll have to let me know.
He'll
so I can
send
put
it to you.
I'll send it
and then
to
we'll
you.
just put it on there
No,
because
that's
it's
the thing,
it's
Yeah.
an ongoing thing. I don't know if that's it. I mean, there is.
I
some
would
good
just
points,
say that I don't want to bring up the ceasefire and speak about Palestine or Israel right now because we don't have the right amount of time because we know what time it is right now and it would be a disservice. So
You know what time
that's what
it
we're
is.
talking about, and it would be a disservice to like get into it and cut it short.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about though?
Jelly Man is the name of the boba place.
Jelly
Got 3.5 stars on Yelp.
I know.
That's not great.
Yeah, dude, $3 signs for some tea? Like, come on,
Yeah.
bro. $3.
There's a couple like there's Michelin Bib Gourmand like spots in not that I endorse Michelin at all. I think like that's a lot of the fucking garbage, but there's a lot of like gourmet spots that are not $3 signs.
Yeah.
Internationally recognized boba. I'm not even a big boba fan. I'm
You're
a bad
foodie,
Asian.
though. You know where all the cutty spots are. Us reggies. I just
Well,
go
the
where
best spots
go
are
with
the
the
cutty
dollar
spots.
signs.
You know, the
That's
best
what I'm
spots are the
saying.
cutty spots.
I just follow the dollar signs.
You just
the
know where
ties.
that Del Taco is?
The good Del Tacos.
Like, I guess I'll end the one last thing kind of on the Giddy thing, but not, it doesn't have to be specifically on that, is like, I do think one of the issues that we run into in terms of being able to own our experiences and like the emotional weight of some things to actually be like mature is how we like I think humans like to attack other humans when they do bad things because it makes them feel good about themselves because at that moment they're not doing the bad. So
They're taking the moral high ground.
so for instance, like, yeah, at the basketball game where there was the video, like every time Josh Giddy touched the ball, they were booing him. I'm like, you all think in the crowd, you guys all think that you are
It's Tony Montana, man.
virtuous and like
Need
this and
people
this.
like me.
But yeah, like so at those moments, like that sense of booing is like, oh, I'm better. But I also think that because of that, that's how we have so many problems being able to speak about things because it's so like, why would that like, it's not really like an open space to be like,
Teach these devils.
I mean, it's just crazy.
There's no room to teach these devils.
No, and like people, and that's the crazy thing. There isn't. And I think people get,
There's room. No one wants to learn, man.
well, because people get mad really quickly because they get triggered really quickly, which I understand that piece. I mean, like, and sometimes you gotta be like, okay, I'm triggered. And also I'm going to
I'm upset.
like, and I can be upset, but also like, I don't know, still speak about it or something.
Nah, you can't do that. You just got to get emotionally frantic and just lose it until somebody coddles you.
You gotta, just like Eminem said, you gotta lose yourself, man.
In the music and the moment.
Mom spaghetti.
Oh, one last thing.
It's not about
Eminem's
spaghetti,
whack.
is it?
No. Eminem's arch nemesis rivals no longer a gun Kelly. He's just Machine.
Oh, Machine.
He's just Machine?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
no
like,
more Kelly?
He's saying it promotes gun violence or something like
I'm
that.
like,
or
bro, your
glorifies
name
it.
does not.
So he's Black China out here, fearful that she may have made some young, impressionable female sign up for OnlyFans? No, really? You saying you make $50 million a year off of that shit? Nah, it wouldn't impress no one.
If I can't see anybody listening to MGK and be like, I need a gun.
And nobody ever
No one's
associates
ever thought-
Machine Gun Kelly with like any sort of hardness.
You don't think so? I
No.
think there's a white kid out there that identifies.
Yeah, but
With-
they're all
with
misguided,
pink hair?
aren't they?
And the fishnet shirt doing pop punk, not a gun. Does he even in any of his lyrics say anything
I never
about
really
a gun?
listened to him,
Oh,
so
like
I
his
didn't-
pop shit? I don't know.
No, but just in general. I don't know. I think that's just
Yeah, back when he was rapping, he was active.
in the streets.
In these streets of lies.
Yes, the suburban streets.
But he was a wild boy. He'd be out there with his little boys behind him, repping the block. And
I low key think that he'd be the type of person that's like telling like, what's his girlfriend Megan Fox? He's like, you have to call me Machine. You have, my name is Machine now. Call
You would
me
think that they just
Machine.
call him like Kelly.
That's what I was thought.
I thought it was Kells.
Kel's is cool. Well, that's like,
Kells is pop.
I thought they called him Kells.
well, R. Kelly's. They just call him Kel's.
They did. Huh?
Yeah.
Maybe not touch that
Kells
one either.
kills.
All of his names he can't do because there's just bad things.
He's like, wait, just gun. Oh, I get it.
Just gun. I don't know. I don't mind Kells. Machine.
Imagine
Kelly.
Gunna is like, I'm changing my name because
Squirt Gunna.
Or
Runna.
Runna. Unna.
Well, people call him Wanna.
Or call him Nunya.
His boys call him Wanna.
Wanna.
Yeah, Wanna.
Or
I guess it's bet.
Yeah, Gunna. I don't know. It's just a name. Who cares? People are so sensitive, man.
We are.
well, that's kind of on him then, isn't it?
That's it.
Is he too sensitive?
That's what. Well, he doesn't want the backlash, so he's
Or
trying
his
to.
PR.
Exactly,
But I feel
trying
like that was that ever issue? Do people think
That's
that?
what I'm thinking.
I guess that's like
No.
like yeah, because like you were saying, like people like celebrities and stuff, you're reactive to public opinion. But like, was there ever a public
wasn't-
opinion on that?
at all.
Is he just trying to stay relevant or something?
That's what it is.
That's
to
what
like
you,
just hype up something, and then he's just gonna go back to MGK
That's what
later.
Blueface does. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what Prince did. That's what P Diddy
I mean,
did.
couldn't he just call him MGK instead?
That's what I thought too.
Maybe
I was like,
they don't want him.
aren't
He doesn't want to get confused with UGK because such similar
that's true.
audiences.
very close.
Very similar audience. Yeah. Maybe. You never know. No, I mean, it is what it is. That's how you stay relevant in the game by
Or just doing press releases and shit.
look at Blueface. He don't even make music no more. He just does stupidness with his girl,
With his girl.
or Krishan, and then that's how he stays relevant.
Okay, well,
Teach these devils.
on that note, do you guys got any parting thoughts, words of wisdom for these?
I'm gonna say, Casey, you hurt my feelings saying that I'm like Killer Mike, man. That's not right.
They got a lot of similarities. I don't blame you for that.
Quite a lot. Quite a lot.
That's not right, man.
Trey's just not into activism and community building. That's all.
I know. I was telling him, I was like, man, I just hate bettering the community.
Kids these days,
Maybe I could see
adults
myself
these
doing
days.
that. Yeah, later in my later years, my elder statesman years.
Now you're here for it. I'm just stoked. We're gonna go to a game right now. Watch the Western.
Oh
Conference.
yeah, shout out LAFC.
LAFC Western Conference Finals today.
Oh,
If I
is that a
wearing
big
a
deal?
jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Bigger than an in-season cup?
I don't know. That's debatable.
Do you win the cup? Did I win the cup?
Yeah, you won the cup.
Then when winning the cup's bigger than winning the
Finals.
the conference finals. Yeah, winning the cup's bigger than the conference final.
I'll give you that.
Mhm. Yeah, just had to make sure if I won it, because it's not the same if I just go to the cup. If you're still a loser. Yeah.
I get it. Joshy?
Shout out Chingy siblings, both of them. I don't really got anything else. I'm really hungry. How about you guys?
Hungry.
Starved. I'll say famined.
Roll us out.
Famished.
Famished.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening to the pod. Thank you for all your likes, comments, and subscriptions. Like, we haven't got much lately because we haven't been posting anything, but we're gonna be back at it.
Yep.
We'll be back at it with a vengeance, like
Active like a
the
crack
best
addict.
Die Hard movie. So,
Is it a Christmas movie?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is. 100%.
Is Nightmare Before Christmas a Christmas movie? Or Halloween
That one's
movie?
always a hard one.
It's a Halloween movie.
Okay. Well,
What's your take?
you heard it. You heard it here, folks. My take is that I'm in agreement with public opinion.
So it's Christmas.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think that's what the public thinks this is.
Probably Christmas.
Yeah.
All right.
Word. All right. You guys have.
Shout out, you guys. You can catch us on all the socials at Almost Never Pod on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Apple, Spotify, all your favorite DSPs. We'll see you next week.
Teach these devils.
Ta-ta.
Goodbye.
Our waves always get better at the end. Like we get into it.
Look at that time.
Trying to keep it real tight.